Hello and welcome to the Blue Podcast Network. This is the Blue Podcast. I am joined by Jamie and our very special guest, Beatrice Rogers. Beatrice, how you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
All good, thanks. I'm really looking forward to getting straight into this one. I just want to ask the first question. How did your journey with football come about?
Okay, jumping straight in there. I've been playing football since I was about 6 years old, so 14 years now. It all started in the school playground, actually. Both my parents worked full time, so they used to drop me and my two siblings off at school for like a breakfast club before school. So we'd get in and we'd have like some breakfast, and then we'd have time in the playground. And every single morning, I've no idea why, but there was this one teacher that would set me a football challenge. Every single day, without fail. No one else, just me. I genuinely don't know why, but yeah, that's kind of where it all began for me, and I feel like it just spiraled from there a bit.
Yeah. You play for Cambridge United women's
I
team.
do.
How do you balance playing football and also doing media stuff as well?
Yeah, I would say balance is a stretch. I don't feel like I balance it
No.
very well.
It's like juggling in the air.
Just completely full on.
Absolute chaos. It's hard. It is really hard, and I feel like it's made harder by the fact that I don't really have a set routine. It's not like I work a 9 to 5 and then I go to training in the evening or whatever. My life is chaos. It's random side quests every single week. So I feel like not having a routine does make it harder, but I mean, if you want something badly enough, you make it work. And I try and juggle priorities between football and work and stuff, like trying to get a bit of the right balance, I guess. But it is hard to get everything in that I want to do. Like, there's so much that I want to do on the pitch, off the pitch, coaching, refereeing. Like, there's so much that it is hard to try and get it all in. But like I said, if you want something bad enough, you make it work.
Yeah.
So, do you think for you it works without a routine? So I feel like we've had guests come on here sometimes and be like, look, a routine is kind of what sets you up for everything you do. But then, I feel like sometimes we get someone who comes on and just goes, look, I don't have a routine. Do you think that works better for you? Or would you actually like a routine?
I'm such a routine person. And like I love a routine. Don't get me wrong, I love like being able to do different things and I love random side quests. But I am someone who, like, the foundation needs to be a routine. So like on a match day, I've got my match day routine, a training routine. Like, I do build routines into it, so like morning, evening, like that kind of stuff. Like, I am able to build routines, but like day to day, everything looks different. Like the bulk of the day can be so different. But yeah, we try and build little bits of routine here and there.
Yeah. So you've been talking about routines, and obviously being able to find a routine can sometimes be a bit of a challenge.
Yeah.
What would you say has been the biggest challenge for you breaking into the sports industry?
That's a good question. Biggest challenge? In terms of on the pitch stuff.
Well, it could be on the pitch, off the pitch, however you want to answer.
Honestly, both.
Yeah.
On the pitch, I'd say the biggest challenge I've had on the pitch is probably confidence. I'm someone who, my confidence goes up or down a lot. It has done in my career, and it's definitely when my confidence is low, my performance is affected quite drastically by that. So it's something that I've worked really hard on, especially over the last 6 months, to try and improve. But I'd say confidence is probably the biggest battle I've had on the pitch. Off the pitch, trying to put yourself out there is always hard. I think I describe myself as quite a shy person generally, and yeah, if you see me 2 years ago when I was still at school, I was too shy to put my hand up in class. I hated sending emails or messages or anything like that. So I feel like I've put myself consistently out of my comfort zone, and that's hard. But yeah, I wouldn't be where I am if it wasn't for doing that. But yeah, I do find putting myself out there difficult. It's not to say I don't enjoy it. Like, I love all the opportunities that I get nowadays. I think I'd still describe myself as a shy person, and it's definitely a lot of it's out of my comfort zone. But yeah, that's probably a challenge off the pitch.
Yeah, but that's a testament to you to be able to go ahead and do that and put yourself outside of your comfort zone, because I think that is definitely an important thing. Like, you've worked with multiple different companies, doing street interviews and stuff like that for your own stuff as well. Like, I've never really done that stuff. So if I did that for the first time, I'd still find it quite daunting.
I think there's a part of me that loves pushing myself beyond what I think I'm capable of. On the pitch, I used to do a lot of running and cross country. I love that feeling of pushing yourself further than you think you're capable of going.
Yeah.
And I think the same probably goes with my comfort zone. I get an incredible adrenaline rush or high or whatever you want to call it from putting myself in a situation that I didn't think I'd be able to cope in and managing. I'd say I'm yet to face a situation that I've not coped or managed in some way. In all of these situations that I go in, absolutely terrified. But I mean, it's incredible what you're capable of in the end when you push yourself out of your comfort zone. So yeah, I definitely get some enjoyment of pushing myself and seeing how far I can go.
Yeah.
Do you think it also helps, for example, like let's say you're doing like interviews outside of football pitch, you're surrounded by people who love football, enjoy football as much as you, so you're kind of surrounded by a crowd that has the same interest that you know will have, and I feel like, you know, it's something you're knowledgeable about. People go to watch matches. Do you think that helps you?
Those interviews are quite easy, so it's not something that I ever published online really, but I used to interview people in the street at my local town just to try and get practice. I was like, I did one street interview outside the Emirates for a women's game and I quite enjoyed it, and I was like, I'm not very good at it and I need more practice. So for about 2 months, every single Saturday I'd grab my mic and I'd go down to the local market in my town and I would just try and stop random people, and that was so much harder because we couldn't chat football. Football's definitely like a comfort blanket there. Like it's an easy,
you have to just make something up on the spot.
Yeah, I'd come with questions like pre-prepared, but you're trying to persuade like random people who don't really like it. The market was full of like an older generation of people who don't really understand the social media stuff, don't really understand what I'm doing. That was a big challenge, but I learned so much from those 2 months. Like I'd say I'm so much better at the street interviews now thanks to doing that. But yeah, you're right, the football is definitely a lot easier.
Having, as much as you said, you're pushing yourself out of a comfort zone, but having that comfort to fall back into.
The football, like you've got something in common.
Exactly.
Yeah, 100%.
A lot better than going out, as you said, just onto the street and just trying to make
those
something
were so
up.
hard. The amount of like rejection I got from those 2 months, insane.
You
Like
have to get strong with rejection as well, because you know people will just ignore you or just be like, no. Very like straight up.
Like I'd be like, can I interview you? And they'd like blank stare you or just walk past and be like, that's all right, have a nice day. Like just over and over again. It's like, come on. But it worked out.
Well, there's isn't it? It's like, is it rejection therapy or
Yeah,
self-rejection?
100%,
There
100%.
is someone on TikTok, and I cannot remember her name. She is brilliant. She'll just go into random shops or random places. I think she went into like this like toy lion store and was like, can I actually see the real lion and stuff like that? And you know, you've got all of these grown people who are working there just staring back at her like, what are you doing? And then she comes back out afterwards with like, well, that was embarrassing but fun at the same time. I got a free toy lion. And it's just little stuff like that.
Mad.
Yeah, it's like those confidence people you see go down the street and just go start complimenting people. And in my head, I'm like, I would be like shitting myself doing that. But it's like, actually, you can see it's actually quite fun, like pushing yourself to something.
And you get a lot out of being like knowing that you were able to do something that you didn't think you could, or able to do something that you were nervous about. Or all of that, like
conquering a kind of fear almost.
Yeah,
it's that kind of overcoming what you weren't comfortable with.
Yeah, it's an incredible feeling.
Yeah. You mentioned about confidence on the football pitch being one of your biggest challenges. How do you deal with that? Let's say if you have low confidence, is there like a routine that you do? Is it like self-talk? What is it?
Yeah, this is something that I've tried loads of different things. I've tried all sorts of different routines. The biggest thing that's helped a lot is I journal before every game.
Okay.
Some training sessions, depending. Just to try and like get myself in the right mindset, go through how I want to play, but also it's a space to get rid of the thoughts that you don't want going into a game. Maybe the conditions are bad, the pitch is rubbish. Like those are thoughts you don't want going into a game. So it's an opportunity to get rid of thoughts I don't want, but also to try and get myself in the right mindset. Speaking of mindset, I've tried all sorts of different things, and this is going to sound a bit wild, but it worked well for me. Going into a game, picturing like almost like you're an alien. You've just arrived. You have no past, no future. You've just come down for this one match.
Yeah.
There's no past, no future, and therefore there's no pressure. You're not thinking about if I mess up, it's going to affect the selection for the next game. There's no thinking about that. Like, just trying to be very, very present. I think that's the biggest thing, because otherwise you start overthinking a mistake or your next play or all of that. So trying to be present, and whichever way you can do that. The alien thing worked for a bit, and I've tried all sorts of other stuff, but the being present in the moment is probably the most important thing.
Yeah. I'd say that's great that you've been able to go ahead and, try all these different things and then see what works and then what doesn't work, and to be able to do it, because I've not played football anywhere near the level. But even for me, when I didn't have confidence, when I did play, it was worse. Like, I do find football is such a confidence-based
100%.
sport.
Yeah,
You see it with the biggest athletes on the planet as well. If
Yeah.
they're not confident, then they're not going to perform. I think the alienation thing is quite interesting as well, because it's kind of bringing it back to the kind of interview stuff. Just thinking about, let's say you go to a match, you might never see these people again.
Exactly.
Especially like in London, you're most likely not going to see these people again. So just thinking, look, if someone stops, if you've got 2 minutes or whatever it is, just, do what you're going to do and leave it. You might never see them again. You might, but it's a really interesting kind of...
Just trying to be very present. I find I definitely, when I'm playing, I can get caught up in the next play, the next action, the next match, all of that stuff. So definitely trying to stay grounded in the moment is the most important thing, because if you're thinking about the next thing, you're not going to be doing the thing right now to the best that you can be.
Yeah.
But it's definitely something that I wouldn't say I'm perfect at yet, but we've been working hard at it.
It's a learning curve,
Yeah, 100%.
Something that if you find works for you, it might not work for others, but it's what makes you perform better. So
100%.
No, most certainly. And the hard work has paid off, because of course you've signed for Cambridge United Women's this year. How's that been so far?
Yeah, so I signed for them 4 weeks now, maybe 4.5 weeks.
Yeah.
It's been good. So obviously I played for Cambridge United 2 seasons ago. I was there for a couple of years. So
you last came on the podcast, wasn't it?
Yes.
You were
I just left them, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it feels quite nice. Like, it's not a brand new environment. It's not like there are teammates that were there when I was there before. There are teammates that I've played with at other clubs. The manager, I actually had him as a coach from under 14s through to under 18s.
Wow.
So I've played under him before, which it's those kind of things that, like, coming in, it didn't feel like a new environment, and I feel like that's helped me settle in a lot quicker. But yeah, it still takes time. Like, they've got a different style of play to what I was playing at Sudbury, so it's taken a little bit of time to adjust. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I'm really, really happy at Cambridge. It's been good.
Yeah, no, that's great that you've gone straight in there and you just feel comfortable already, because if you do move to a new team, I can only imagine it can be quite daunting. Like, you be with a squad, you know all the players, and all of a sudden, if you don't know anyone, it probably can be a little bit lonely.
Yeah, 100%. I think the biggest thing for me is you never quite feel part of the squad until you've played a game. As soon as you've played on the pitch and you've shown that you're all like fighting for a common cause, that's when you like really like solidify your place as like a teammate in the team. Until that point, it can be quite hard. But
yeah, most certainly. So, of course, you're a big advocate for women's football as well. What drives that passion for you? Like, what is the one thing that you're like, I just absolutely love this? Like, what's the reason behind it?
It's all come about because growing up I didn't feel very welcome in football as a woman. I had numerous experiences at the school playground, in teams. I played a lot of boys football growing up, and I was a big Arsenal men's fan, and just in so many different environments I didn't feel welcome in the sport being a woman. So when it was 2 years ago, actually, I set up my social media platforms, and I decided that I wanted to make the change that I wanted to see. I wanted to be the person that I wish I had growing up, because there aren't enough girls in football. Like, that's a fact. And the women's game is not being supported as much as it needs. So if I can impact one person, I mean, it's worth it, because like I said, I really struggled with it growing up. When I was at school playing in the playground, I genuinely thought if I wanted to make it, I'd have to play in the Premier League, because I didn't see any representation of the women's game. I felt like the only girl in the world that played, because in my little world at that time I was. So I feel like the representation's so important, which is a big part of why I do what I do. Every post I make, everything, it all has that common goal of trying to increase representation, inspire more girls to play. Like, it's all surrounding that theme. Like, I don't know. It is something I'm really, really passionate about, and that all stems definitely from not feeling wanted in this sport.
Yeah.
How do you think, watching how the women's game has grown, watching, especially with the women's Euros that we had here, then the last one was last year, I think it was, and then seeing, for example, Arsenal won Champions League, the packed out stadium, 50,000 seat stadium, Emirates is packed out on numerous occasions now. How does that feel, seeing that kind of growth? Because, of course, that, as well as what you're doing, I feel like that's kind of what you wanted to see growing up.
Yeah.
Now, as, like someone who is an adult seeing that, how does that make you feel? I feel like that must help.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest, it makes me really emotional. Whenever I go to a game and I see young girls, young boys in the stadiums watching, it makes me really emotional because I just didn't have that growing up.
Yeah.
And like emotional, like sad that I didn't have it, but also really happy that we're at that point now. But on the flip side, it does feel like a double-edged sword. The women's game is doing really well at that level, and it's great to see that, but I think that's all people are seeing.
Yes.
And they are not seeing the lower down the pyramids or the reality for the majority of women still in football.
Yeah.
So it does feel like a bit of a double edge. Like, it is great, but that's not the reality. That's kind of the surface level.
That's the pinnacle. That's what you see.
Yeah, and I feel like there isn't enough representation of the reality for most women playing or supporting supporting football. It's there's just not enough representation of that.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah, no, there was I can't remember the exact story. There was a story that I saw. It was at grassroots level, and I'm pretty sure that it was a women's team, and they got kicked off the field for a men's team, which I just found absolutely ridiculous. Like, I don't know what the football club was.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name, but yeah, I saw that post, and I was like, that's just completely not okay.
Yeah, I find it mad that you find it ridiculous to hear that. Like, that's so common. Stuff like that's so common in all aspects of the game. So I referee as well, and this year I've stepped up into refereeing men's football. And you turn up at games, and there's one changing rooms for the referees. So I'm given like a toilet or a closet to get changed. Like, in all aspects of the game, it is not set up for women.
No.
And obviously it's shocking to hear that a women's team's been kicked off the pitch for men, but it does not surprise me at all.
No.
That's such a shame that it doesn't surprise you. Do you know what I mean? Like that.
Yeah.
That is, as you said, that's the reality of what we're in. Yes, we're looking at like Women's Champions League, and you see that pinnacle of women's football, but it's like, as you said, it's shocking that the reality is actually you're not given basically anything, as you said, one change room, you're not given a space, and I think that's where I think a lot of what you want to see is kind of the higher ups in women's football trying to do something to actually bridge that gap.
Yeah.
Because we've always said between the championship and it's gone up my head. No, it's not Women's Premier League.
National League?
No, sorry, it's Women's Super League. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's like we always say there's a massive bridge between there.
Huge.
But then it's like, imagine the bridge between the lower leagues going up.
Yeah, 100%.
It's like the whole pyramid itself is there's a massive bridge at the top, but it's like, imagine the bottom.
And I think the reality, the women's pyramid is completely, it's not evened itself out yet. Since the Euro 2022 win, there's been massive investment in women's football in certain areas. Some teams have invested massively, some teams haven't done that yet. So there are, in the pyramid at the moment, there are some low down teams with insane budgets, and there are some higher up teams who historically maybe had a bigger budget, now haven't had that increase in investment, and they now have like no budget. So the pyramid, I'd say at the moment, is very uneven. Obviously the WSL teams like your Arsenals, your Chelseas, they've got huge budgets, they're doing really well, really successful, which is awesome. But yeah, the pyramid's a bit uneven at the moment, and I think it's going to take a while to... They've
changed it this season so that 2 teams going up, 2 teams going down, isn't it?
I think it will be really interesting to see, because it's affecting the whole way down the pyramid. So in our league, 2 teams potentially could be going up, which is huge, because only having one is a whole different thing. It's only been recent. There's only been one. It used to be you could win and still not go up because you'd go into a playoff.
Was it the Nottingham women's team, which was the similar thing of like they'd won the league like 4 years in a row, went into a playoff and lost it. It's
probably.
Like, how have you not gone up at this point?
Mad. But yeah, more teams are going up, and I think it will be interesting to see. Hopefully it helps the pyramid even itself out, but there's a potential that if you increase the WSL size, there's potential that the gap between the top and the bottom is too big.
No, of course.
Because they've not played WSL football. So I think it needs to happen at some point, but it will be interesting to see how it works out next season in the WSL and in the other leagues when they expand a bit as well.
I think you also need to see with the clubs themselves. So I know that last year Wolves got promoted from one of the divisions, but they just didn't hand in the paperwork on time.
Yeah, they didn't apply for promotion. They chose not to because the WSL 2 or the Championship, there are certain standards that you have to meet to play in that league, and effectively Wolves decided that it wasn't going to be cost efficient for them.
That's the thing.
Another team like #, they're not applying for promotion, or they didn't in that same season, but it didn't get the same publicity. Like there are lots of like WSL 2 now has like a minimum wage for all the players, so
if you can't reach that, then
you can't play in the league.
Exactly.
So there could be cases of teams winning the league and not going up just because they can't afford it.
And the thing is, that's unfortunately stunts the growth of what we're exactly talking about in terms of lower down divisions. Yes, it's good they have that minimum salary cap, but there's going to be situations where you can't reach that, and it's like, well then. What's going to happen?
But at the same time, if you can't reach that, should you be in that league? Like, if you're going to be in the WSL 2, you need to put that investment and back the team and the players and pay people.
Of course, I think it depends. I think it once again stems back to you'd hope that by going up, they're kind of given enough money to be able to do that. Because of course, as you said, it can be difficult to raise the funds as a lower club, especially if you don't have that money. If you're then getting promoted but you're not given any more funding to help you, you're kind of stuck in a circle of you might just be winning the league every year, but if you're not actually making any money or you're not making enough to be able to go up, then you're kind of just stuck in a circle.
Yeah, and I think it's an interesting one. I've looked a lot into the football business side of stuff, and I don't think many teams are self-sufficient. Most teams lose money every year, but they're also people are unwilling to invest in women's football at the same time, like because men's football isn't sustainable. Like people are investing money and just losing it the whole time. So I don't know why people are unwilling to do the same for women's football.
No, I agree.
It's just such a shame because for the players and for the staff and the managers and the fans, the fans have seen a great season or something, and the players and the coaching staff have worked so hard, and then they don't get that reward. I mean, that would be so frustrating. I couldn't imagine it. Like, I say my sister was playing football, and she worked ever so hard to play all season. They earn that reward, but they don't end up getting
I mean,
exactly.
like, can you imagine? So Wolves were in Tier 3, so equivalent of League 1 in men's football. Can you imagine someone winning League 1 and not going up to the Championship because they can't afford it? Which
it would never happen.
No. Yeah, that's the equivalent of it though, which is insane.
That's ridiculous.
No, it just I find it.
You look at the whole Wrexham story in men's football. We look at whole Wrexham, how they've come up from different leagues. If they've had a cap that doesn't allow them to then go up, it's like, well, hang on a minute, you're blocking this from happening. And
mad.
It's shocking.
No, I just do find it crazy. You attended the Women's Football Awards. What was that like? What did that mean to you personally?
Yeah, that was a really, really cool event. I love those kind of events where we get to celebrate the women's game and you get to see so many incredible people who are working hard inside the game. I think they're really inspiring, and yeah, it's just nice when you go into environments like that, because often as a woman working or playing in football, you can be the only woman in the room. So then when you go to an event like that and it's a room full of incredible women, it's a really nice environment to be in.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was really good.
Also, you've started a podcast as well.
Let's have.
Talk about that.
Touch on that, haven't we?
Yeah, no, very exciting. I think it's been a couple of weeks now. We've only released 2 episodes at the moment, but yeah, I've set up a podcast called The Unpaid Pundits with my friend Anna. Basically, it's around that idea, like we're both trying to land paid roles in sports media, finding it so hard. It's just such like a difficult industry to break into, and at these kind of events that we go to, we find so many people have the same questions, like how do you go from doing work for free to getting paid for it, or even how do you land like the free volunteer roles? Like, it's just a hard industry. So yeah, we set up the podcast just to kind of talk about our experiences, share it a bit. But yeah, no, it's good fun. I've really enjoyed it. It's been a lot of hard work, because obviously being the Unpaid Pundits, we're doing it on a very tight budget. But yeah, it's been really good. A really good experience.
Oh, brilliant. No, I'm glad, because obviously we've been doing this podcast for a little while now.
Yeah.
We absolutely love it. So it's great to see
Yeah.
other people doing podcasts
No,
and
exactly.
just enjoying it as well.
Yeah.
Exactly. As you said, the media industry is notoriously like very difficult to break into.
Yep.
Even looking at like smaller roles or even like volunteering roles are very difficult. You kind of
Yeah.
have to be very specific. I think the thing with the podcast is kind of you choose what you want to talk about. You choose what you want to do. You choose what you want to show off. And I think it's one of those things that it's like, yeah, well, it's kind of thing of anyone can do it. And it's like, well, yeah, but certain people can do it right.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing of finding what you like.
Yeah.
And, you know, as you said, we've got a setup here that the formula we follow, we like, works for us. I think it's that thing of, for you, do you think everything kind of just came together, or did you have that plan already?
So I've wanted to set up a podcast for like 2 years now, and Anna, it turns out, has also been wanting to set up one for a while. And yeah, we were chatting, and she suggested the idea, and yeah, we jumped on it. Yeah, it came about so quick, but it's been good. I mean, slow but quick. Like we've both wanted it for a while, but then this idea.
You actually get it to work. Like,
Yeah.
There's logistics as well. You know
Exactly.
what I mean? So,
But it should be good. We're gonna have some guests coming down on the podcast as well. People
amazing.
who work in the industry, so we can kind of explore their careers and how they got to where they are, which I think will be really, really useful insight, hopefully for the listeners, but also for us.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's great just to hear like how different podcasts start, because you know it's so varied.
Yeah.
It could be anything,
Yeah,
right?
it could be, like,
literally just
you
two
know.
people saying they want to do it.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then it happens, and then you
Yeah.
have other circumstances where someone says, "Oh yeah, I was just doing it. I was just lying in my bed one night, and I was just awake. I just thought I'll just start a podcast." It's like it's so varied. Every single person
it's cool though.
has a different sort of story, which I think is really, really cool.
Yeah.
Another thing that's really cool, you're sponsored by Under Armour.
Yes, I am.
How cool is that?
We can see the whole thing here as well. The
no,
whole
exactly.
Under Armour
But
fit.
like, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, no, it's probably been the biggest and most life-changing thing that's ever happened to me. I got sponsored by them 2 years ago, 2024. So yeah.
Just to say, when you came on the podcast last time was just before you did your first event with them, because I remember you telling us
Yes.
about it. I think
Yes.
you'd just done one, or you were about to do one.
Uh-huh.
And I remember that. That's what I was going to mention. I was like, I remember you saying it had just happened.
Okay. I can't even remember what event that would have been. It's been so long.
Yeah.
But yeah, Under Armour have been incredibly supportive. It's basically the sponsorship came about through a program they've got to sponsor young up and coming athletes and help them progress their careers. So I won the sponsorship through that program, which was very cool. But the support that they offer, and obviously like they've sponsored my outfit, like they help with equipment for sport, they help with training plans, psychologists, nutritionists, like they help with all of that. But even just like the support, having the family, it's like a family, so they support each other. But even this last week I've had some questions about my social media stuff and where I'm going with it, and I mentioned it to one of the coaches that helps look after all of us, and yeah, we jumped on a call and they immediately were like, leave that with us, we're going to sort it. Like the support they've given me, I can't really put it into words. Like it's so much more than just the clothes and stuff, which obviously the clothes and all the equipment is cool, but I'm so grateful for that support. But the other thing that I've got from it is the confidence. 2 years ago, like I said, I was quite like a shy person, and the confidence you get from a brand like Under Armour backing you was insane. Like my confidence grew massively just from that. Like if Under Armour believe in me, like I should probably start believing in myself.
No, absolutely. 100%.
Like it's been so good from that, and probably from the stuff that most people don't normally see from a sponsorship deal. Like all of the behind the scenes stuff has been incredible. But
Yeah. Now, how important would you say like the sponsorship and personal branding is for like young athletes like yourself?
Yeah, it's huge. Like, obviously being an athlete, especially a young one, when you're not necessarily getting paid to play sport, it's expensive. All of the equipment, like boots and all of that, is really expensive. So having the support from Under Armour from that point of view, but as well the training that they've given me has been incredible. I think the personal branding is also quite big. As a player, being able to go to a club and they can see obviously my personal brand online, but also the fact that I'm connected with a brand like Under Armour I do think that it helps give you a bit of a leg up. It makes you look professional. And if Under Armour are backing you, like, you're clearly not no one. So I think it does make a big difference.
Yeah. No, most certainly. As you started a podcast, is there like a dream guest?
A dream guest?
If you had one, like for me, for example, I'm a massive fan of The Weeknd.
Yes.
So if I had one person to interview, that would be the one for me. Is there anyone that comes to mind?
Yeah, I'm a big Arsenal women's fan, and I would love to have Leah Williamson on the pod. For a long time, as a centre-back myself, I love her style of play. She's got a very different defensive style to a lot of defenders. A very defending without actually having to make a tackle kind of defending, if that makes sense. Yeah. Which I'd like to say that's more my style. But I would love to speak with her. She's been my idol for a while, so that would be very cool.
Yeah. What would you say your goals are for the next year?
What a question. I feel like my life is so like sporadic. Like I don't even really know what I'm doing next week yet. So I'm not sure, but on the pitch I want to keep getting consistent minutes. Yeah. I want to be playing consistently. I want to be playing consistently, that type of thing, and hopefully score a goal. It's been a few years now since I've scored a goal, so that would be quite nice. Get a league goal. Off the pitch, I really want to land my first paid role in the industry. Yeah, I'd love to get some work. Also grow my platforms online. That would be good. But yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll see where the year takes me. Like, we're still only in March.
For sure.
There's
so much that can happen.
Yeah, no idea where I'm going to be at the end of the year. But that's quite exciting. Like, it's so like open, and I just kind of go with the flow type thing. Like, I go where I'm enjoying it, where I want to be working and stuff. So yeah, we'll see. I'm excited to see.
Most certainly. And as you said, I think that is really exciting that you can go ahead and have it just being sort of like an open blanket in a way. Like, so much could happen in the remaining year. So, you know, that's got to be exciting, right?
Yeah, 100%.
How are you finding Arsenal women's season so far?
Yeah, so obviously, like, I am an Arsenal women's fan. I find it really hard to follow being a footballer myself. Right, like, a lot of their games, it's really hard to get down to go and watch, or even watch on TV. Any Sunday games, complete write off, can't follow that because I'm playing myself. And then Saturdays are hard as well because that's trying to prep for the game. So I don't follow it as closely as I'd like to, but it is hard. They're doing all right. Like, it's not been like a groundbreaking season. Obviously, Man City have basically secured the title already, but they're doing all right. It could be worse.
Yeah, I think good win yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday was huge. Yeah,
I feel like Chelsea have really fallen off as well.
The fact they only had 8 people in training the other day.
Yeah, I saw that.
Completely blew my mind. Like, why haven't they just brought up the under-21s? Why haven't they just brought everyone?
Just injured?
Yeah. Injured, or just like they've played too many minutes, they didn't train.
Yeah, because there was internationals before as well, and they came back.
And obviously the Asian Cup as well has been a huge hit to them. But just mad. Like, because I've been at training sessions before, and there's only been 8, and the mood is so flat. Like, you go from having like 20 or 30 people to 8, and it's like it's such a mood killer. So the day before a Champions League game, I genuinely cannot even imagine that. Wow. Like, mad.
I feel like Arsenal recently had some really good results. I feel like Arsenal kind of started the season pretty poor.
That's quite consistent though
for the women's team.
That's quite consistent.
I remember last year was the same thing
with Jonas.
But yeah, that was it. Because then he got right off the Tottenham after the Chelsea game.
Yeah, mad.
Slager's coming down really well.
Yeah, but again, not a very good start to the season.
Not a good start, but it's picked up now. Some big wins over City, Chelsea in the league, Chelsea in the cup now.
Yeah, and I think like they're really consistent and doing really well at the Emirates. Yeah, like the Emirates is like a big advantage. I feel for us over many other clubs in the league. Like, it's a, I don't know, like the home advantage, all of that, but the big crowds that they draw in as well. Yeah. I don't think they've lost a game all season at the Emirates, or at least they've not lost a game in the league at the Emirates.
I don't think they've lost Champions League game at the Emirates.
I'm not sure. Not all of their Champions League games have been at the Emirates though.
But I think the ones they've played, I don't think they have.
But like, it's not bad.
Yeah, it's
not bad. But
do you think Arsenal go through to the Champions League final again?
I would love it. I would love that. I mean, it's feeling quite promising now that they've beaten Chelsea in the first leg.
But who's
Although
after? Is it not
last year Chelsea were 3-0 down against Man City in the first leg
turned it around?
and turned it around.
And it's 3-1. Yeah.
So it's not unreasonable that they could turn it around.
Is the semi-final not going to be Barcelona or Real Madrid, which is going to be difficult?
But at the same time, I genuinely think on their day, Arsenal could beat anyone. And they showed that in the
Yeah,
Champions League
it's
final.
true.
No one thought they were going to beat Barcelona.
That's true.
No one did. I didn't think they
Even
were
the
going to.
Barcelona fans after the game were going over to the Arsenal fans and going, "Congratulations!
Yeah.
Even we didn't expect this."
This is
Like,
what I
it's
mean.
ridiculous.
Like, so I was at the Emirates for the Champions League final last year, and I was with all my friends, and we were like, score predictions, and everyone was like, I really hope they win, but they're not going to.
Yeah.
And then they did it. So I think on their day, they can beat anyone. It's just whether they show up.
Yeah, I find it interesting, and we had a look at this before we started recording. But last year we played in Stade Dragão in Porto with 50,000 seats. Now they're playing in Oslo with 28,000, which just feels like last year packed out because of the two teams are two of the biggest teams on the planet. But I feel like it's a bit of a shame, I think, just to have the next Champions League final when you've packed out 50,000 seat stadium to then have the next one. I understand having it in Oslo is going to be good for them, but it's like I feel like you need to kind of have another stadium that's around the same size. You can't just suddenly cut it in half.
Yeah, I mean, 28,000 is not a huge stadium.
And look how difficult it was to get tickets to the Champions League final last year.
Yeah.
A, the prices, and B, they're sold out instantly.
Yeah.
This is surely going to be even quicker, if not.
100%. And like, it is disappointing. Like, you'd want to see it in a bigger stadium, make a big occasion out of it. But I don't know how surprising it is. Like, when you look at the Euros last summer, those stadiums were tiny. Yeah. Like, it was. You more
look at it's surprising they had it in such a big stadium last year than they did having it in.
Yes.
This. In terms of what would stand out of the two is having the 50,000 seats
100%
instead of having.
But I think like they can sell it out. Like, people need to back the women's game more because they can sell it out. And if you have it in a 40,000 seater stadium and you only sell 35,000, that's better than having it in a packed out 28,000. Exactly, like people just need to back it more. But like I said, not crazy surprising.
Yeah. No, unfortunately not, and that is, it is just really sad because we have seen through previous years, having the Euros here in England. What was it? Wembley was sold out, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's
incredible.
That's like the most. It was sold out, like more tickets sold than ever, or something.
Yeah, it was like the highest attendance in Wembley.
Yeah, ever.
That's an incredible achievement. Yeah, and clearly, if the stadiums could be sold out, why not have the games there? Get more people to the stadium.
Agreed. Yeah. I don't know if everyone agrees with that opinion, but I completely agree with you.
I don't know. I just think it makes sense. Like, if the stadiums could be sold out, why not do it? Like, that's just my opinion anyway.
100%. I agree with you. I agree with you.
What advice would you give to someone who's trying to get into the content creation industry like yourself?
Pick up your phone and record something.
Yeah.
Post it. When I posted my first video is still up there as well, and it is awful. It is so bad. But when I posted that first video, I made like a mental note, like a mental agreement with myself that my first 50 videos are going to be awful. Like, I knew that. Like, it was brand new to me. Yeah. No idea what I was doing. I was like, my first 50 videos are going to be terrible. And then that 51st video will be a little bit better, and it will just, by my 100th video, they'll be better than that. Like, I knew that it would take time, and I just knew it was about like volume. It was about doing it as quickly as possible. And I think the more experience you get, the better you'll get. Like, you're never going to be world class straight away. And I do think social media is different in that respect, as in, like, it's on the internet and anyone in the world can see it. So it feels different to like learning an instrument in your bedroom and no one else can really hear or see you do it. Like, it is different in that respect, but you do have to take that leap, because if I hadn't picked up the phone and filmed that first video, I wouldn't be doing half the stuff I'm doing now.
Yeah.
I've had some incredible opportunities off the back of my content, and it's so worth it. But yeah, you have to accept that you're not going to be good from the beginning, because I certainly wasn't. And you just have to take that leap and put yourself out of your comfort zone, I guess.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's a perfect way to sort of get back round to the beginning, isn't it? Because we mentioned the comfort zone and everything like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do think it is really important to go ahead and just pick up the phone and do it. Because if your friends are your true friends, They will support you, and they will get behind you, and they will back you. I think you quickly probably find out who might be a little bit jealous and doesn't really like it, because unfortunately there are just some people like that who, you know, are a little bit negative. They might say some negative comments, which of course happens a lot online, unfortunately, like across all sorts of platforms. How do you deal with that?
Yeah, I receive a ridiculous amount of hate comments on my posts. It's often for the fact that I'm posting about women's football. I don't normally receive much targeted at myself.
Right.
Which, I don't know, if I feel like that would be easier to deal with if someone was hating on me specifically, because I don't know them, they don't know me, so their opinion is irrelevant.
Yeah.
On me. So that would be quite easy to deal with, I think. But I do find the hate comments that I get towards women's football a little bit more hurtful, because like I said, I'm so passionate about this and I've been working so hard to try and grow the women's game. So it's a little sad to see so many people with backwards views. But at the same time, like, I mean, it doesn't affect my life too much.
Yeah.
I mean, a comment helps my post, if anything else. So
Yeah.
it's not the end of the world. I find it weird because you hear a lot of people talking about like women's sports being shoved down their throats, like that type of thing. But it's a weird one because the way algorithms work, if you comment on something, the algorithm doesn't know whether you're commenting nice or nasty stuff.
Exactly.
Like, it's just going to show you more of that. So if you don't like it, just don't comment.
Yeah,
Like there's plenty of stuff I don't like. Like, I don't love every sport, but I don't go out, seek those sports, seek out those athletes and comment nasty stuff. Like, it's just such a weird, just a weird concept for me to get.
The algorithm works on the more you interact, the more you show.
Yeah.
If you're going to interact negative, it's still going to show you because you're interacting.
That's what I mean. Like,
so
I cannot wrap my head around
it's like
it.
that typical thing of, you've got nothing nice to say, don't say anything.
Definitely.
And it's like, you know, they won't get shown it and you won't get hate.
That's what
it's
I mean.
Like, works both ways.
Like, I'm not a big fan of, I don't know, badminton, but I just don't go looking for it.
No.
Yeah, exactly.
I wouldn't comment.
I hear it.
I wouldn't comment anything on it because I'm just not that interested in it personally.
Sure. It's just nice to be nice at the end of the day, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you've not got anything nice to say, just why say it?
Exactly.
It's a weird one though. I do feel like there are some men that it feels like they're gatekeeping football.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, but this is definitely something it's historically accurate. Like, obviously the ban on women's football for 50 years, it feels like there were some men trying to gatekeep football for themselves and not want women to play. So, and I feel like that's still the case. And I don't understand it because I love football and I want everyone to play.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I want absolutely everyone to get
If you're a true
involved.
football fan, you will.
That's what I
You'd
mean.
want everyone to go
But
to games.
there are definitely some people that don't share that opinion.
Yeah, and it's just bizarre that people do share that opinion, because why would you want to gatekeep and block such a great sport that you know so many people love and enjoy from all parts of the world?
Yeah.
You know, regardless of whether you're a man or a woman, like, everybody deserves that opportunity to 100%. Go ahead and get to play and get involved and be a fan and chant and celebrate, you know, feeling all the emotions.
Especially when it's someone's career as well. It's like, it's a career thing you choose to do, and it's like, then you're getting that hate. It's like, well, hang on a minute, you're choosing to do what you love. Is that not the whole point of, you know, working?
But it's also like, I'm not impacting them.
Exactly.
Like it's not like I've taken an opportunity away from them.
Yeah.
Like, it's completely separate. Like,
you're choosing what you want.
Like, I don't understand it.
No, it's very bizarre, and I just find it very strange, people who go ahead and have that mindset.
Yeah.
We're just never going to understand it either.
No.
Like, it's one of those things where it's like, they just do their own thing, and they can be arrogant.
It's
weird,
they
want.
But I wouldn't say any of the negative comments have that big of an impact.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know them. I feel like it would be different if I'm receiving hate in person or online from someone I did know.
Mm-hmm.
That's a whole different thing.
Different.
But when it's from someone who I don't know them, they don't know me, I couldn't care less.
You're not fussed. Yeah.
Like, I just couldn't care less.
But there most certainly is. Who inspired you growing up? Because you said there was a lack of representation, of course, for women's football. Was there still a few people that like stood out to you?
So I was a big Arsenal men's fan growing up, and we had season tickets to the Emirates, so I'd go to games a lot. And on the pitch, I was a big fan of Laurent Koscielny.
Yes.
Very, very niche reference, that. But again, I really liked his defensive style. I used to like analyse him and his playing style a lot. But yeah, in terms of representation, there wasn't a lot. Like, you couldn't watch women's football on TV.
Yeah.
It wasn't well known at all. So I certainly didn't watch it. I think my first match must have been like 2019 or something crazy like that. But the first representation I did see of women's football was, I was in a bookstore with my mum, and looking through the sports section of the books, of course, and I stumbled across Kelly Smith's autobiography.
Okay. Yeah.
Which I ended up buying and reading. It definitely wasn't a book targeted. I think I was 10 at the time, so I don't think it was a book written for a 10-year-old. But it was incredible to see her career and like read about it and read like she's had a career in women's football. Like that was mind blowing for me at the time. Like that,
like opportunities available.
Yeah, like that is a possibility. So that, I mean, she's definitely one of my inspirations and idols from that point of view. Just being the first representation I saw of the women's game ever.
Yeah. Well, I've really enjoyed this chat, but unfortunately I think we are running out of time, so we're going to have to call it a close. Beatrice, thank you ever so much for coming on. If you want to just shout out all your socials into the camera.
Okay, thank you for having me. And yeah, you can find me on social media, any platform at Beatrice Rogers _, and you can also go check out our podcast, The Unpaid Pundits, at The Unpaid Pundits.
Well, thank you ever so much, Beatrice, for coming on. Thank you, Jamie, for coming on as well. I've really enjoyed it. It's been a great chat. Thank you all ever so much for watching here on the Blue Podcast Network. If you have enjoyed, please make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on your post notifications so you get notified every single time we upload a video. Also, go check out Beatrice Rogers' new podcast and also all of her content on her platforms as well. Thank you all for tuning in. Bye-bye.